everybody, it's Michelle LaVore and
Devin LaVore coming at you on day 5.
On day 5.
How about that?
Our 21 days. So
this is amazing. I'm really liking it.
It is.
Really
it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we just want to say welcome to everybody. We're so glad that you're here, and we just pray that you guys are blessed by what the Lord has to share. And also huge thank you to everyone who continues to give and support us. We just appreciate all of you, and it's just such a blessing. And so we are support based, and as we come into this, as we come into the weekends, that's always getting ready for next week. We just need a lot of times just a little extra support as we go into the next week.
We're going out into the woods with our bow a few extra hours at the weekend. We need to kill a couple more deer. You know what I'm saying?
But so if you can support us, we have a PayPal link below, and you can just click that. So if you can just remember us for this weekend and this coming up week, that would be awesome.
Yep.
And so, with that, we're just going to dive right in.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, this is kind of crazy. We're in this pregnancy with the promises process that started in January 1st. It's going to be 40 weeks, right? During that time, we've had 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, 40-day cycles of going up the mountain, kind of like Moses. In the midst of that 3 sections of 40, we had a 52-day thing. You know what I'm saying? And now but also in the middle of the 40 week, but also we're in the year of oil and spices. First 6 months oil, second 6 months spices. And then in the middle of that, the Lord begins this restoration play, which had actually already started with the pregnancy of the promise process, but we were in pre-production, but that didn't start until when? April 13th was the beginning of the actual stage play, stepping out on stage and watching the Lord do restorative, is that how you say it? Restoration type stuff. And so that's what I'm saying, like there's so many plates on the table that only God knows. That
and now we're having we started with 21 days, now we're kind of ending this process with a 21-day the Spirit and the Word, and so God
it's amazing.
He loves doing that.
He loves putting the spices in. You know what I'm saying? And it's because come the end of this week, we still have a Act 1 Scene 22 video to share that's going to be different than all the other videos we've been sharing every day. It's just amazing how God is God is not boring, let me tell you. It might seem like it sometimes, but he's awesome. And so this morning, as far as let's get to the word of the day, right?
Yeah, we'll dive right in after we go through a little detour.
After Devin talks about the word therefore. So so this morning I woke up with this particular song, and we haven't done it in a while, easily over a month. It's called Your Grace is on Our Side, or Grace on Our Side, or something like that. It's by Vertical Worship. And I just woke up with it, and it was just it might as well have been on the radio in the spirit, And I'm just hearing it constantly for an hour. And so I was like, okay, that's clearly going to be a part of our worship set this morning. So I put that song on, and then there was this one line that stuck out to me. That said, from battle to blessing. And I was like, man, this is so awesome, because the Lord has been speaking to us about two things, which is the battle belongs to the Lord. That's been a thing. We'll just say that. And then he's been also speaking this same week is what I'm talking about. He's been speaking about reversing things, where you see ashes, I see beauty. Where you see death, I see life and resurrection. Where you see this, the Lord, that was our last video, I believe, right? About seeing it. Yeah, it was. What do you see? What do you see? Well, I just see some dead bones. Oh yeah, well I see an army. And I'm gonna breathe my breath of life, which is my spirit, and they're gonna rise up. What you see as dead, I see as opportunity for resurrection. And so when I saw that today, it was like, wow, look at the Lord. He's taken all these strands and now he's beginning to weave it together into this, like, you know, from battle to blessing. Because it's like, yes, the battle belongs to the Lord. Okay, that's in there. And he wants to reverse things. It's like, that's in there. And so it's like, well, the fact that there's a battle to begin with. And then secondly, it's like, well, we're overcoming stuff. There's stuff to be overcome. It's like, well, what's God's heart? What is he leading you to? Well, he's leading you into blessing. He's leading you into the blessed place.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was really excited because when you were, that phrase just really hit me as well.
Yeah.
It's like going from battle to blessing. And it really fit in, I felt, with what God was sharing with me yesterday. And I was reading Psalm 21 and Psalm 24, and because we've been seeing the 21s and 24s just a ton. And so it's like, all right, Lord, what are you saying? And also I was reading through Stephen Jones. He has
the Kingdom of God Ministries prophetic numbers guy.
Yeah. And just kind of reading through some of the things that he had in there. But what really stood out to me was when it was talking about David.
Oh, the foundation?
And no, not that part.
That part. Yeah, okay. My bad, missed the cue. That cue wasn't even there. I just took it. It's like, where are you going, Devin? Well, that's my cue. No, there was no cue. It's like, why are you stopping there? There's no stoplight.
Yeah. No, but I was just reading through, and it was talking about David. Basically, his distress was ended, because 21 can have to do with the end of distress.
Yeah.
But it was David coming into being king, and really the promise fulfilled over his life. And that's really when Psalm 21 is written. It's
like afterward.
It's after
on
he
the
has
other
received.
Side. Yeah.
And I really just felt like, wow, like here God is speaking about going from the battle. This is really, you know, David battled like his whole life, like just in the wilderness. He was battling and having to contend really in faith to believe the Lord that, yes, you have anointed me as king. But then he literally just had to battle because King Saul was always against him, and just all that he had to go through. But there came a moment in time, and I really loved this part where it said that all the elders of Israel came to David and anointed him as king over all of Israel.
Yeah.
But I really loved that it was they came to David. And I feel like there is just this, and it actually says in Psalm 21 where it's like, you send good things and blessings to meet me. And I feel like there is just, that's what the Lord is getting ready to do. He's getting ready to send blessing to his people. This is a time for receiving from the Lord, where he's like, I am sending out my blessing. You're not going to have to come and strive and go after it yourself, but I am going to actually bring it to you. It's going to come directly to you, and what I'm doing in you right now.
Well, and that reminds me of also, we've been seeing the number 42 like crazy. I mean, even more than 21 and 24. God speaks to us through prophetic numbers. Give us a chance. But at the end of Job, chapter 42, his friends come to him and give him things, a piece of money and a gold or something like that, to help get him started in getting going again, you know? So it's kind of the same thing as the David deal.
Yeah. And so I just really...
Which then he went on to have double of what he lost.
Yeah, Job.
Yeah, Job.
And and so I really love just the response of David when he received his promise, when he received the fulfillment of the word, when he received the blessing from the Lord. And this really is a time of receiving. It was last month we were doing videos about just like that God wants our hearts to be prepared to receive what he has for us. And to really just say yes to his heart and what he's doing. And so it's like, that's just what God is going to be doing with us is that he's going to be taking his people from the battle into the blessing. Just like he's going to take us home again. He's leading us home. That's the same idea of from being on the battlefield to going home, where it's like
the
you can rest.
Place.
The place of blessing. And so, and I really actually just wanted to go ahead and read part of Psalm 21, and just kind of, just as a way of just encouragement, and to just kind of that, and just praying that we would experience what David experienced as God takes us from the battlefield or from the battle into the time of blessing. So
where did you want? I'll just read
1 through I think it's 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The King David shall joy in your strength, O Lord, and in your salvation how greatly shall he rejoice. You have given him his heart's desire, and have not withheld the request of his lips. Come on now. Something he prayed for a long time ago. He's finally getting it. I'm feeling a ring in the spirit. For you send blessings of good things to meet him. You set a crown of pure gold on his head. He asked life of you, and you gave it to him. Long life forever and evermore. His glory is great because of your aid, not by might, not by power, not by my strong marketing prowess, not by my business savvy. No, it's because the Lord is with me, and he has blessed me. He removed the covering of the wicked and blessed me with his hand and caused me to go in and inherit the land. That's what he did. It is him that's doing this, not me. Splendor and majesty you bestow upon him. He just gives it. For you make him to be blessed and a blessing forever. That's an Abrahamic blessing right there. You make him exceedingly glad with the joy of your presence. That's a video right there. For the king trusts, relies on, and is confident in the Lord, and through the mercy and steadfast love of the Most High, he will never be moved.
Yeah. And then I also wanted to just read
Psalm 24.
Psalm 24, verses, let's just do 1 through 5.
Okay. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness of it, the world and they who dwell in it. For he has founded it upon, that just sounded weird, the seas, and established it upon the currents and the rivers. Who shall go up into the mountain of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted himself up to falsehood or to what is false, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive blessing. Oh, girl, you done snuck that in on me. He shall receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation, which he also talked about here in verse 21, verse 1. O Lord, and in your salvation, how greatly shall he rejoice.
Yeah, so I really just love both of those, and I want to talk about a couple of things. It just
21. Okay.
Yeah, it said that you've given him his heart's desire, and I really just love that. It's something where it's like, it just actually reminded me of, because when I was doing this, it's about the 21s, and I was thinking again about how the baby, a heartbeat, it starts beating around day 21 as it's forming and developing in the womb. But I also felt like that God is getting ready for our own hearts to beat again. Yeah. And that comes through the fulfillment of heart's desires. And the fulfillment of his word upon our life, the blessing of the Lord upon our life. And so I really loved that when I read it yesterday. But then also just with...
Well, that kind of touches on the from battle to blessing.
Exactly.
Because how many of you out there have been battling with hope? How many out there have been battling with faith? How many out there have been battling with the brokenness that you've been carrying, the weight of the weight, the weight of waiting for the promise to come to pass? I don't think I'm going to make it. Am I going to be able to get up and go to work today? I'm just battling here, you know, and I have to deal with all the stuff I have to deal with. How long am I going to keep dealing and enduring these things that I'm enduring? I'm battling here, you see? And it's like, man, if I could just get to that place right there, if I could just get to the table of the Lord, I won't even care if I'm in the presence of my enemies. Hallelujah. I will just be feasting on the desires of my heart, and I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied. The longing will be over. The waiting will be done. The pressure and the battle to stay in the right frame of mind and the right heart. The battle to receive the mercy and forgiveness of the Lord when I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of that is part of that battle. And it's like when the heart's desire is fulfilled, it's the blessing. You know, it's the blessed place.
Tree of life.
Yeah.
And then I just love Psalm 24. The whole thing is amazing. But just that, again, like that verse 5 is talking about receiving the blessing from the Lord. Those that, you know, your hearts are pure before the Lord. Your hearts are for Him. And you continue to just seek after His face. He's just like, I'm going to come. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to take you from these places of battle and put you into places of blessing. And so it was just really encouraging reading both of those. And I also loved just in the Psalm 21 where it's talking about the presence of the Lord. And it's like that is exactly where God is leading us. He's leading us home into His presence, to be in a place where we're experiencing His presence in new ways. As you know, as He continues really this whole process. It's really preparation to go before the King. That's what the whole year, the oil and spices is about. You know, it comes from Esther 2:12, where it talks about
2:12.
She prepares. She's prepared to go before she can go to the king. It's a year-long process of preparation where they do oils and spices, and then they go before the king, and he, of course, chose her as the new queen. But
you know, the heart's desire thing that you just read, that's a 2:12 as well.
Oh, I
Psalm
didn't.
21:2, it's still a 2:12. Sometimes it's a 2:12, but sometimes it's a 21:2 if the Lord's showing you a number, you know. But a lot of times it will relate. Either one will relate to one another. You know what I'm saying? It's about relationship.
But just how the Lord is preparing our hearts to go before Him. And for us to really see our King in a whole new way, and in a way where I believe He is just going to come with His presence, which is also just
that is the blessing.
It really is.
It's what is this? Proverbs 10:22. It's the blessing of the Lord that makes truly rich, and He adds no sorrow with it. Neither does toiling increase it. Not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. It's the Spirit of the Lord that carried David into the blessed place. It's the Spirit of the Lord that carried Joseph into the blessed place. It's the Spirit of the Lord that came upon Mary and gave birth to Jesus. It's the Spirit of the Lord that came upon Lazarus and said, hey, come on out. You thought you was dead? You're not. Come on. You know what I mean? So. And
as you were saying that, I was just thinking about, you know, with David, he allowed the Spirit of the Lord to bring him into that place.
He allowed the battle.
He didn't take it into his hands. He had many opportunities to say, okay, I'll go after this myself. But he listened to the Spirit of God saying, no, let me elevate you. And that's exactly what the Lord is getting ready to do. He's going to send His Spirit to elevate His people, those who have waited and even in times of opportunity said, nope, God is going to move me up. I'm going to wait on Him. And so that's how the Lord is going to be taking us from the battle into the blessing. It's by His Spirit and by His hand.
Get ready for the whirlwind, people.
Yes.
Get ready for the whirlwind. That's another video coming at you.
So that's what we have to share with you guys today. Pray that you are blessed, and we will see you again tomorrow.
Yep. Love you guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.